Good morning, Year 7. I hope you had a lovely half-term break and you're ready and rested and looking forward to going back to Wind in the Willows. So please could you write the date and title? The title today is Wayfarers All. For your do now, I would like you to fill in the gaps to complete the missing headlines. Please could you copy them down into your books, filling in the words with words that you would like to fill in. As a challenge, describe Toad's escape from prison in your own words. So pause the video to do this now. So these are the words that I've used to fill in the gaps. You may have written slightly different words, that's fine. But this is what I've done. So, terrible Toad escapes prison. Toad escapes disguised as washerwoman. He tricked me, says ashamed washerwoman. Toad flees on train. I thought he was a woman, says shocked train driver. You may have chosen even better words, but make sure you have something written down in your books. Okay, so chapter 9 is called Wayfarers All. This chapter stands outside the narrative. This means you can read the book without it, and the plot will still make sense. It's not included in many abridged or adapted versions of the novel. Previously, I told you the story was written by Kenneth Grahame for his son Alistair. The Wind in the Willows began life as a bedtime story, and then continued as a series of letters written to Alistair when the boy was away on holiday. This might explain why there are some embedded narratives, like this chapter, that you don't need for the overall plot. Can you remember the 2 other chapters we've read that aren't needed for the overall story to make sense? Pause the video for a couple of minutes to write them down. So there's chapter 5, Dolce Domum, and chapter 7, Piper at the Gates of Dawn. Make sure you've written them both down. Next, I would like you to read the chapter from your copy of the text, or use the link provided on class charts to read it online. Pause the video for about 15 minutes to do this now. What I'd like to do next is write at least 4 places that the sea rat visited on his last voyage. Pause the video for about 5 minutes to do this now. So here I've got a list of places on the slide that you may have written. What I'd like you to do is add 2 places that you didn't get and add them onto your list. So make sure you have at least 6 places now copied down into your book. So now we'll be exploring how the sea rat's journey is made to sound appealing to the water rat. I would like you to read through the extract attached on class charts, or you can use the relevant section in your copy of the text. And I'd like you to highlight and annotate the sections of the text that use sensory language. If you can as well, it would be excellent if you could, after you've highlighted the relevant sections, annotate them, so make notes about how the sensory language is used and how it is effective in making the journey appealing. So like I said, you can either use the extract attached on class charts, print it off, highlight and annotate, or find the relevant section in your book and highlight and annotate in your book. Either option is fine. So pause the video and do this now. So I've highlighted some things you may have picked out. Golden days and balmy nights, cool temple, feasting, velvet sky, coasted, amber, rose and aquamarine, sun rose royally behind us, path of gold, air is full of music, sky is full of stars, and the lights flash and shimmer. Polished steel prows, the food, do you like shellfish? Fine rush and clatter and scramble, refreshed, drinking with our friends, blue, feasting, shellfish, and repetition of shellfish again. So make sure you've picked out these points. You may have picked out other points as well. So the last thing I'd like you to do is copy down the question into your book. How does the sea rat's voyage sound appealing to the water rat? After you've done that, I would like you to write a detailed answer to this question, making sure you include quotations from the text, at least 2, language and structure analysis, ideally both. You should be very familiar with what this means by now. Things like similes, metaphors, imagery, repetition, tricolons, listing, that sort of thing. Literary terminology, so technical terms like the ones I've just mentioned. One-word analysis, reference to the question, so linking it clearly to the question at the top of the screen. And finally, reference to the reader. This makes the reader feel what? So you may want to use a peel paragraph, point, evidence, analysis, and link back to the question and to the impact on the reader. So please pause the video for 10 to 15 minutes to complete this question. Okay, and that brings us to the end of today's lesson. Thank you very much for your hard work, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Have a lovely rest of your day, and see you soon.